Hey everybody. Before I begin this commentary to the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, I just want to reiterate that the 2005 film is available to stream on these specific platforms. Yeah, you can stream Fantastic Four on the platforms mentioned, or you can watch Fantastic Four on DVD while listening to the commentary. I think it's pretty surreal that I'm doing this commentary literally before my birthday. But anyway, sit back, relax, and it's clobberin time to enjoy my commentary of Fantastic Four. Welcome to Commentary Companions. I'm your host, Tony Garcia, and today I'm doing a commentary on Fantastic Four, specifically the 2005 movie starring Ian Grufford, Jessica Alba, Michael Chiklis, and Chris Evans. And, I have a total soft spot for this 2005 movie. I know it's not the greatest movie of all time. I mean, the 2025 movie has pretty much proven that. But I do have a sentimental soft spot for this movie. By a lot, I mean, I was 8 years old when I first watched it in theaters, and it was my first introduction to Marvel's first original family. So I'm willing to, cut this film a bit of slack. Plus, I hear it's decent compared to the 2015 movie, for certain. But yeah, I'm gonna spit some facts about it. Yep. But yeah, this film was pretty much my first introduction to Michael Chiklis and Ian Grufford. I didn't know that Ian was Welsh, but now I know. And I also didn't know that Michael Chiklis was best known for being on The Shield, which was definitely a show my parents would never let me watch for obvious reasons. I guess I could get that show a watch. Is it available on Hulu? I should check. But yeah, I should point out, the 2005 movie may have been the first theatrically released Fantastic Four movie, but it wasn't the first time that a Fantastic Four movie was made in general. Allow me to explain. Now, in my last commentary companions video talking about the 2002 movie, I talked about how Roger Corman had attempted to do a Spider-Man movie, but the plans fell through between him and Stan Lee. But, it happened, but ironically enough, Roger Corman would end up developing and producing a Fantastic Four movie. Allow me to explain. You see, the Fantastic Four movie was a low-budget B movie from 1994. It was produced by Roger Corman and German Constantin film president Bernd Eichinger, who pretty much made the Fantastic Four movie intentionally bad out of spite. The reason that Eichinger made this film was because he intentionally wanted to make a piece of crap movie just so that he could keep the rights and prevent himself from losing the rights to the characters, which would eventually go back to Marvel. Yeah, that's the kind of dick move Eichinger was willing to make. The actors and the director and the rest of the crew were totally unaware that Eichinger did not intend to release the film, much to their chagrin. But the film lived on through pirated copies, and you know what? I mean, I hear that while the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie may not be good, it's developed a bit of a cult following, and from the clips I've seen, it's quite clear that a lot of effort and love was made into making the film. But, after the film was pulled, well, Eichinger eventually made a deal with Marvel and 20th Century Fox to make a brand new Fantastic Four movie, an intentional reboot. And at one point, director Chris Columbus was considered to to direct the Fantastic Four, and his version would have been quite interesting. I mean, here's one of many interesting facts about Chris Columbus's version of the Fantastic Four. Here we go. Hold on. Well, shoot. Well, apparently Chris Columbus wanted Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan to be to play Reed Richards and Susan Storm, but Chris Columbus's vision eventually fell through, but it had some interesting ideas, and probably would have been more faithful to the comics. Oof, cold. Now, before Ian Gruffwood was cast as the character, Hugh Jackman was offered the role of Mr. Fantastic, as were George Clooney and Brendan Fraser. Before Jessica Alba was cast as Susan Storm, actresses Ali Larter, Kate Bosworth, Rachel McAdams, Scarlett Johansson, and Elizabeth Banks were considered for the role of Invisible Woman. And what I think you also might find interesting is that before Chris Evans was cast as the Human Torch, the late Paul Walker was considered for the role of Human Torch. Youthful high spirits. Crashing a flight simulator. I mean, I'm on Ben's side here. I mean, does that even make Johnny qualified? But yeah, this was also my first introduction to Chris Evans. I never imagined 6 years later he'd be portraying Captain America. Priceless. Now, here's an interesting fact regarding Jessica Alba and Chris Evans. Now, in the comics, it's established that Susan Storm is the older sister of Johnny Storm, and Johnny is kind of a teenager. I think maybe 16, 17, 18. It's never really specified. Hold on. You know what? Let me look. But anyway, before I get to that fact, Jessica Alba is only 2 months older than Chris Evans. But I'll give props to Jessica. I mean, she does a good job playing Susan's maternal side, and Johnny tells it and makes it really believable that he's her younger brother. I mean, that's good direction right there. How old was Johnny Storm? Okay, yeah, Johnny Storm was depicted as being 17 years old when he and the other members of the Fantastic Four gained their powers. I mean, this also means that he's older than Peter Parker. I say this because, Peter Parker was 15 when he got bitten by the radioactive spider. So, yeah, by all accounts, Johnny Storm is older than Peter Parker. Burn. Now, before the late Julian McMahon was cast as Victor Von Doom, Tim Robbins was considered for the role of Doctor Doom, as was Mel Gibson, Sir Gary Oldman, Nick Nolte, Jeremy Irons, David Warner, Sir Daniel Day-Lewis, and Viggo Mortensen. Whew. World's done a smart guy. Now, the 2005 Fantastic Four film takes place on Earth 121698, which I think is pretty cool. Apparently, during this filming scene between Sue and Victor, well, I'm sorry, Jessica Alba actually was suffering a kidney infection and was suffering a kidney infection and fainted from said kidney infection. And Julian was there to pretty much cheer her up and make sure she was in good health by doing a Dr. Evil impression. I mean, while Dr. Doom here is humorless in this movie, on set, McMahon cracked a lot of jokes. Dr. Doom was originally meant to have a Transylvanian accent before McMahon decided to make Doom's accent a mix of his natural Australian accent and American accents. Ooh, that sounds bad. Yep, that's 4 words right there. Now, what I find interesting, what I didn't know about Doctor Doom is that, well, he wasn't with the team when they got their powers, as he had debuted in Fantastic Four #5, and of course, in the comics, Victor Von Doom was Victor Von Doom was Reed Richards' roommate, and well, as and in the comics, actually, his origin is quite interesting. Victor attempted to make a machine that could teleport him to the netherworld because he wanted to see the spirit of his mother. But the machine that he had built, well, according to Reed, Victor's calculations were off, but Victor disregarded Reed's warnings and just went along with the experiment anyway. The experiment went horribly wrong and disfigured him horribly. And because of Victor's recklessness, this resulted in him getting expelled from the university. But in some depictions, well, Victor isn't truly disfigured, like I'm talking Freddy Krueger levels of disfigured. It's more like he just has a tiny scar. And but Victor is apparently so narcissistic that he thinks he's incredibly disfigured. But when Doctor Doom got his signature helmet, it was fresh hot when it was made, and he just put the fresh hot helmet on his face, and oh yeah, that disfigured him. But I remember reading one comic, I saw his the silhouette of the back of his head, unmasked head, and well, and it's like, I swear, he looked, the back of his head made him look like Danny DeVito. Also, I think it's funny as the characters are getting exposed to the cosmic radiation. what powers they're getting. Kind of looks goofy by today's standards, but I thought it was kind of cool as a kid. And I think I have an explanation for how all the characters managed to survive all that, despite it being off screen. I think just Ben off screen managed to just fly everyone out. Now, the scene where Ben wakes up and looks at a mirror was the first scene Michael Chiklis shot. It was also his first scene working with Chris Evans. Chiklis had to throw the mirror 7 times because the filmmakers wanted him to hit a particular tile, and he was afraid because it was a mirror and he did not want to hurt Chris. He told Evans he was going to throw the mirror at him and make sure he's out of the way. Ah, yes, the white sideburns. Actually, in the comics, Reed always had the white sideburns even before he got his powers. I mean, I'm not bothered by it. Oof. All those flowers make it look like Victor is overcompensating for something. Interesting fact, Jessica Alba met her future husband, Cash Warren, on the set of this movie. Cash was the director's assistant in this film. Now, Tim Story, the director, had to ask his wife's permission to direct the film since they were expecting a baby at the time. Before Story was hired, directors like Steven Soderbergh and Sean Astin were interested in directing the film. If Sean Astin had directed Fantastic Four, he would have wanted Cameron Diaz or Christina Aguilera to play Invisible Woman. You're pulling me out? You know how much I sacrificed? Sorry, I couldn't resist. Care packages. Johnny Trouble Storm. Now, Fantastic Four is notable for being the last Marvel film to be released on video cassettes, which I find interesting. Also, Roland Emmerich, who's best known for directing Independence Day and The Day After Tomorrow, was also asked to direct the film. He turned it down. I think it's for the better. I also didn't know that that Fantastic Four was co-written by the late Michael France, who co-wrote the 2003 Hulk movie, and also co-wrote the 2004 Punisher movie starring Thomas Jane. I think that's quite interesting. And what I think you might find interesting is that, at the time, Fantastic Four surpassed Scary Movie as the highest-grossing film directed by an African-American director. That's pretty cool. I mean, I didn't know that Tim Story was black, and I also didn't know that he was responsible for the Barbershop movies. But, I think he's a decent director. Speaking of Debbie, it was Michael France who created Ben's ex-fiancée, Debbie, who... apparently, France thought that Ben's life was boring, so he wanted to spice up Ben's life. What's up with that? I mean, Ben's an interesting character. I know how you feel, Ben. I sometimes ask that when I'm at work. I swear, sometimes Ben Grimm is a mood. I still can't believe that nurse agreed to go with him. But I guess she likes trouble. Uh, I don't think so. Ooh, he's smoking. Quite literally. Help me, Jesus! Help me, Tom Cruise! Help me, Jewish guy! Like I said, smoking! Eh, you need to cool out, dickwad. Or is it chill out, dickwad? Holy hot tub, Batman. And somehow she says yes. This is definitely a 2000s film. Mm. Did Ben parent trap? Did Ben parent trap these two? Oh yeah, I did not know that the guy playing Leonard was Hamish Linklater, who's the current voice of Batman on Batman Caped Crusader. That's pretty cool. I feel like such a dummy for not recognizing him. But Hamish is one of those alternative actors who's done a lot of different things. So of course I haven't seen him around, and of course I'd forget he was in Fantastic Four. Ooh, you're sparky. Apparently this conversation was a 10-minute conversation that Michael had ad libbed, and these were the last few seconds of said conversation. I would give anything to listen to said conversation. You're feeling a little rocky. Hmm. The frustrating thing for Ian Gruffett is, while he's a Welsh actor, it was hard for him to maintain an American accent due to all the constant script changes. I mean, I can totally understand his frustration. And I also didn't know that Jessica Alba was Hispanic and also not a real blonde. She actually went out of her way to dye her hair blonde. I mean, props to her. And she liked that she dyed her hair blonde for this film because she looked Eastern European and she has a Danish maternal grandfather. Are we clear? You know, this is actually good CG for making her look invisible. Literally. Huh. Yep. Those are some strange side effects. You might say they're fantastically strange. Oh no, he's hot! Ooh. You know, I kind of wish that he was more disfigured with losing his hair, you know? Oh well. Am I balding? Well, that's never happened before. Ooh, you're starting to look a little orange, Ben. Normally, when a person's sick, they look green. That ain't no magic trick. You know, I think maybe a young David Tennant would have made a good Mr. Fantastic. Yep, he has to agree with Susan on this one. Yeah, he is not feeling comfortable. Yes, it's these big sister, little brother moments that I believe their chemistry. Ooh, that's not good. But this does make me wonder. I think the 2003 Hulk weighs more than the Thing. This version of the Thing, I think. Honestly, I can actually relate to this scene. Sometimes I wish I had Mr. Fantastic's powers right here. If it meant if I accidentally get locked out, oh, I would totally do this too. Like I would shove my hand into that door and stretch my arm just so that I can unlock the frickin' door. There it is. Click. Perfect. What is that thing? "'Tis but a scratch." Yep. Okay, I did not know the actress playing Debbie was on Walking Dead. But I can guarantee you, my sister does not like Deb. I mean, I think she was intentionally written to be unlikable, which is fair. It helps make Ben look more sympathetic. Not big enough, I think. I believe that's a body double for those scenes. Oh, the frustrations. Oh, so Ben and Debbie live above a deli mart. I'm pregnant. Yeah, little. Honestly, this makeup job for the Thing is really awesome. I really like that that Michael fought hard to portray the character through practical makeup effects instead of CGI. It's really good. It's good makeup effects, and I like that it's based on like the Thing's earlier designs from the comics. It's very good. Now, Michael Chiklis has been a lifelong fan of the Fantastic Four comics and The Thing. He was offered the role of the character after Jennifer Garner suggested him for the character. And to his credit, Chiklis wore prosthetic teeth as part of the costume. He prepared himself for that by wearing them when reading to his kids. Come under the cab, we'll get together, we'll have a few laughs. He thought it was a statue. Oh. Yeah, apparently that was suntan lotion that they put on him for that. Because they couldn't get it right. And that man attempting sewer slide is actually his name is Jason Schombing, and he's actually a real life friend of Michael Chiklis's. I didn't realize that. Oh wow! Even I'm getting a little tensed up watching that. Wah! Okay, I know it's fake, but you know, this is whoa. Like, oh shit! Up, alley oop. Oof! I hope that guy's insured. Now, the makeup for Thing took over 3 hours to apply. To get through the long application, Michael Chiklis spent time watching the Boston Red Sox baseball games. And it turns out Chiklis is a big Red Sox fan. It's his favorite baseball team. Apparently, that him yelling "fine" was the only time his voice was altered. Now, the Thing's makeup and Doctor Doom's makeup was handled by Mike Elizalde. Other films that Elizalde has done makeup effects and creature effects for are Turner and Hooch, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, the Nutty Professor remake, Del Toro's Hellboy duology, Darkman, Total Recall, Blade 2, and Blade Trinity, the first two Men in Black movies, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men First Class, consulting for Vision's makeup in Avengers Infinity War, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Mighty Joe Young, Bicentennial Man, Monkey Bone, Star Trek Nemesis, a few episodes of Stranger Things, Malignant, and creature effects in Aquaman 2.
They're just casually looking at each other. Up. Yeah, nope. Yeah, I don't blame Johnny for thinking that, and I think at this point Sue would probably be arrested for indecent exposure. You know, you don't have to say excuse me when you're invisible. You could just push them. Uh-oh. Well, that's rude. Uh-oh. Ah, perfect absorption of fire. Oh no, not the dog! Ah, nice. The force field. Ah! Now, the screenplay to this film had to be extensively retooled after The Incredibles came out, as many of the latter's jokes were making fun of things that already existed in the Fantastic Four script. Uh-oh. Now, when Chris Columbus was meant to direct a film, he pushed for the film to have a heavily comedic tone along the lines of the Batman series starring Adam West. Tim Story was able to persuade Columbus that going for an outright comedic tone would end in disaster and pointed to the success of the 2002 Spider-Man movie as proof that the film could still contain plenty of humor while having a generally serious overall storyline. Oh boy, you've rescued that fireman and the dog. I mean, that is quite an amazing feat of strength. Nice save, Ben. The scene on the bridge took about 5 weeks to shoot. Yep, don't shoot. He's a hero, says the easily impressed crowd. Because he saved the firefighters. Easily impressed. I mean, he just saved a bunch of firefighters, and she thinks now's the perfect time to divorce him? This is why Debs is probably one of the most hated Marvel characters ever. My sister hates him. I think a lot of people hate her. I don't blame her. But hey, she wasn't the one for you, Ben. Well, that's nice of Reed. Now, early drafts of Fantastic Four featured Mole Man as an antagonist. And how, yeah, if he doesn't have ears, how does he hear? Interesting fact, Reed checking on Sue in the quarantine was the first scene Ian Grufford and Jessica Alba filmed together. Ian remembered that in the script, sunflowers originally said in the botanical word, but that got cut. The prop department didn't have the right flowers. They had lilies and they didn't understand the script. Huh. Well, this makes Reed the de facto leader by default. The main actors of the Fantastic Four started shooting on August 3rd, 2004. Now, Michael Chiklis sweated frequently while running in his Thing costume. It was quite uncomfortable. When Peyton Reed was attached as director, Renee Zellweger was considered for the Sue Storm role. Oh, Van is giving a look that says, "Excuse me?" Now, the filmmakers thought that the Thing's eyebrows were too over the top and cartoonish and decided to make his eyebrows look more realistic. Even Peter Siegel was attached to direct the film at one point, as was Lee Tamahori, but he turned it down to make Triple X State of the Union instead. You know how much I sacrificed? You're fired. The Baxter Building. New York loves you. Now, revised concept art for the optical monitors of the Baxter Building was completed on July 1st, 2004, and a body sculpture of Doctor Doom was finished on September 22nd, 2004. Guillermo del Toro was approached to direct Fantastic Four as well, but he declined in favor of Pan's Labyrinth. Take it from me, I used to smoke. There's Willie Lumpkin. Fantastic Four marks one of the few times Stan Lee ever portrayed an established Marvel character. Willie Lumpkin made his comic book debut in Fantastic Four number 11, published in 1963. Yeah. Womp womp. Exceeded maximum weight. At least Ben was willing to do it with some dignity. Hulk would have thrown a fit over having to take the stairs because Hulk hates stairs.
So many stairs! No! Stairs!
Actually, it turns out the bridge scene originally ended with Ben picking up Debbie's ring, but Michael Chiklis improvised not picking up the ring to make the part more tear-jerking. Good idea. So it's Mr. Von Doom, not Mr. Doom? Or Dr. Doom? Memories all alone in the moonlight, blah blah blah. I actually like that these are actual photos of Ian Grufford when he was younger. Now, the filmmakers had to lay down a lot of track because, well, the film is an origin story. What I also find interesting is that the film's script was actually influenced by and inspired by Ghostbusters. You know how much I've sacrificed? Could have used another take where, with him yelling a lot more. With angrier. Ooh, you're getting some metallic knuckles, Vicky. That's good. This is actually a reference to, Ben being a smoker in the comics, but until Marvel made pretty much made a strict rule that characters could no longer smoke, which is a good idea. I mean, kids read comics, and smoking's bad. I don't smoke. I don't plan to ever smoke. Also, it was Ian Grufford's idea that Reed should continually be taking notes. He says, on a good day, I'd be writing formulas that I remembered from my algebra class in school, and on a day when I was really concentrating on the other actor, it would just be gibberish. Yeah, if Peyton Reed had directed Fantastic Four, it would have been like A Hard Day's Night with superheroes. The proposed cast was Alexis Denisof as Reed Richards, Charlize Theron as Sue Storm, Paul Walker as Johnny Storm, John C. Reilly as Ben Grimm, and Jude Law as Doctor Doom. Yeah, that would be bad. A walking bomb. Like, I think that's a walking atom bomb right there. With such a description. Boom. Okay, yeah, that's kind of cute. Yeah. What's so complicated about that? Ugh. Such a waste of a. That must have been a nice shirt. Yep. It was actually co writer Michael Francis' idea for Doctor Doom to have organic armor. And that's some pretty good makeup for the metal organic look on his body. Well, it seems unlikely that it would be contagious for Victor. Doctor Doom is strangling Batman. Oof. Oh, by the way, you're fired. Ouch. That's gonna hurt. That's actually a pretty cool visual. And it sounds like something Reed would do. Molecular research. Until he has to wear it. Now, Fantastic Four co-creator Stan Lee has said that Michael Chiklis' Thing is his favorite performance in any Marvel film. And, that's pretty high praise from from someone. I mean, when your performance is praised by Stan the Man of Marvel, and he says it's his favorite Marvel performance, well, that's when you know you've made it in your career. I also kind of like this visual of things squeezing all the oranges to make orange juice. I kind of wish. Uh-oh. Ah. I like how the how that looked. I like how that resembles the telepod from the David Cronenberg Fly movies. Kind of cool. It's like he's like, I like that. Maybe cause a second mutation. Oh. It takes time. Ooh. Oh man, this. Oh yeah, this scene of the prank. I'll admit, I mean, the 2005 movie, to its credit, really does keep true to the family dynamic, and with Johnny and Ben constantly bickering. Oh. I'll say I like this visual gag of Reed stretching his cheeks for shaving. That's pretty good. Anyone in Reed's position would totally use their powers to reach for the toilet paper. At least it was shaving cream. Doom for Von Doom. That was pretty catchy. Oof. I mean, that would hurt. Then again, he is kind of a walking electricity conductor. The more I think about it. Okay, yeah, this might be outdated. Jessica Alba's underwear scene was added after the actress had agreed to be in the film. Go figure. Originally, that generic chairman was supposed to be electrocuted with a puddle, but they decided to just instead have that brutal execution. It certainly does contribute to the film's PG-13 rating. What with these lights? That is so poorly acted. Sorry. Latveria? Latveria. Out am I! Whoa. Yeah, that's brutal. What kind of cool? Just business. Sorry for making all the 2002 Spider-Man references. Actually, you know what? I'm not sorry. Hashtag I regret nothing. Also, yeah, I love this visual. Johnny using his heat powers to light up a Jiffy Pop. It's actually kind of cool. That is so reckless. Torched. Can you legally have a license plate named Torched? I mean, that's a nice car. Oof. I mean, are those supposed to be fighting words? Oh, he burned his wheels. I mean, that is a waste of a good car as well. But that is funny. Do they even do X Games anymore? I mean, that definitely seems like a 2000s thing. I mean, hold on, let me look. Because that's all he can say. Are X Games still. Flippy, flippy, flippy! Okay, yeah. X Games are still a major action sports event. I mean, that's good. I guess you could say I'm kind of indifferent to X Games. Now, did he just super glue the 4 badge on there? I wonder how long it took to get that 4 badge on there. Unless did Reed do it prior? Eh. Yeah, she is so offended, but actually, this is comically accurate. In the earlier comics, Sue Storm used to be known as the Invisible Girl. It wasn't until issue number 284 of Fantastic Four that Sue got the Invisible Woman moniker. Personally, I like Invisible Woman more than I like Invisible Girl. Yeah, I don't blame him at all. Oh, Dos Equis, Activision, Lunchables, Family Guy. Oh, it's a sweet ride. It would be a shame if something terrible were to happen to it. Ooh. Oh, I hope he's insured. Pebbles. Oh. Chickless is kind of doing an impression of my dad before he tries to beat on me. Oh. Of course, I'm not petty enough to do that. Tinkerbill. Flame broiled a Whopper. Now, did Reed feel that? Ooh. That's definitely older sister vibes. Yep, that's definitely a vain, immature Johnny. Which is kind of funny because he was kind of enjoying himself at his bachelor party in the sequel. Apparently, Jessica Alba hated this scene, but it's because, well, they had such a limited time to film the scene. I mean, I don't blame her. We're all in this together. Sorry, couldn't resist. Oh, apparently, here's the equation that Reed was writing on the board at around 53 minutes. H30 plus NO2 minus divided by HNO2. This is the acid dissociation equilibrium expression for nitrous acid. And I guess I have enough time to talk about the costume designs. Now, the costume designs were done by Jose Fernandez, not to be confused with the late baseball player of the same name. Jose Fernandez, the costume designer, has done costume designs for various franchises, such as Batman, The Amazing Spider-Man, Thor, Avengers, X-Men, Superman, and so on. He also helped design Daft Punk's helmets from 2009 to 2018. Oof. I know exactly how Ben feels right there. It's like funny story. I was at Adventures Underground, the local bookstore and comic book store, and there was a bench outside. I tried to sit down, and then suddenly the leg broke. Oof. It was kind of embarrassing. Luckily, no one was there to see it. Yep, and that's Alicia Masters. Alicia Masters made her comic book debut in Fantastic Four number 8. I also realized, yeah, Kerry Washington was also in the Black Panther cartoon series voicing Shuri. Well, now ain't that interesting? But I like this detail of, her being blind and just seeing Ben's face. She doesn't feel a monster. She feels someone vulnerable. I actually... It's a nice scene. I think it's a sweet scene. She didn't view him as a monster. Recognition of humanitarian contributions from the roof of Latveria. Oh yeah, blame others for your problems. Because that totally accomplishes everything. Yeah, cue the maniacal laugh. How big is that cup of coffee? Or is it a bowl? I can't really tell. Also, I like this visual gag of Reed's fish just smushed from sleeping, and Sue wakes him up. It's cute. What could possibly go wrong? Take a break. I also did not know that the actress that plays Debs, Laurie Holden, collaborated with Michael Chiklis again in the final season of his TV series, The Shield. What I like is that children kept asking Michael Chiklis to do the Thing's voice, and they were overjoyed when he said, "It's clobberin time." Now I remember that gag. Why did I forget that gag of the whole Stronger Man thing? I thought it was a deleted scene. Ooh. Yeah, he's got quite the monstrous appetite. Now, before Michael Chiklis was cast as the Thing, James Gandolfini and David Boreanaz were considered for the role of the character. I don't think I could imagine David Boreanaz as the Thing. Maybe the late Gandolfini. Also, I didn't know that Julian McMahon was the main protagonist in Nip Tuck. Nip Tuck was also an FX series that, my parents wouldn't allow me to watch for obvious reasons. But McMahon and Chiklis both wanted to collaborate on a project together because they really liked each other. It's nice that they got to act alongside each other. Yep, Reed and Ben's fight, culminating in Reed wrapping himself around Ben, was actually Ian Grufford's favorite scene. He said, "From what I remember of those early comics, that's happened a lot." Rubber boy. I mean, yeah, in the comics, Reed and Ben would clash a lot with their powers. I mean, can you blame Ben? Oof, that sounds very aggressive. Holy falling out, Batman. But man, if I had a nickel for every time Ben Grimm pretty much quit the team, I'd probably have a lot of nickels. Also, I think it's got to... Yeah. Oh. I also think it's kind of funny that that's how Ben decided to say it's clobberin time. Better origin than the 2015 film. Yep, definitely a hothead. Still, gotta give Reed credit. He's the first to pretty much test the machine on himself to see if the cure will work, which really shows that he cares about his family in a way. Nothing could go wrong. Oh, you know it's serious when Sue Storm mentions the creator. Well, apparently, Victor pretty much using staples to seal his scar was actually an idea of Julian McMahon's as a reference to, his portrayal in Nip Tuck. Uh-oh. I think you're having a stroke, Reed. Hello, all you happy people. Ugh, rubbery blubbery. Also, yeah, it is kind of creepy that Victor is just watching over them. Batman and the Thing. Still can't believe that's the future voice of Batman. Also, yeah, if you have Amazon Prime Video, I totally recommend Batman Caped Crusader. And you can, Ben asked incredulously. Or, and you can, Ben asked calmly. Actually, the nonverbal acting of Ben looking at his appearance, I like that. Also, I find it interesting that they're always teasing Ben turning back into human in every issue. It happens a lot in the early issues. Also, fun fact: the sound effects used when transforming Ben back into a human is actually they're actually from the futuristic sound effects from the Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four cartoon series. Yeah, I bet you some of you forget that Hanna-Barbera produced a Fantastic Four cartoon. At last, unlimited power! Oof, the electrical bills must be insane. Ooh, Johnny knows that can't be good. Yeah, I can imagine Ben is just happy to be human again. I get it, you know? Apparently, Michael Chiklis enjoyed the scenes where, he wasn't in the makeup, and, I don't blame him. Yep, he realizes, I'm gonna need a belt. These are parachute pants at this point. That's a parachute coat. It's got the pants of MC Hammer. Yoo-hoo, Vicky! Okay, yeah, I actually do like Victor's organic armor appearance. Unlimited power! Oh, that's a bitch slap right there. Yeah, it's a shame. I wish they could explore a story where Victor is being destroyed by the very power he sought. You run. Oof. He's sore. Oh boy, yeah, he's like, uh-oh, that's not good. Oof. That's gotta hurt. Well, that was rude. Jimmy was just doing his job. Then again, he is a supervillain. Going down. Yeah, this is when he starts, getting all humorous. That's a cool scene transition. Smashing the mirror to smashing the glass that contains his Latverian helmet. That actually is a pretty comic accurate helmet. I like it. Dang. Bennis got a hairy chest. Probably not as hairy as Wolverine, though. Now, this frozen Mr. Fantastic look was actually done through makeup effects. The makeup for the frozen Reed Richards was done by a paraffin wax, which was put through a spray gun, and the filmmakers heated it up, and Ian Gruffwood was sprayed from top to bottom. The makeup did not take as long as the Thing makeup. However, the wax did end up getting in Ian's food. That is cool looking. That definitely sounds like ADR dubbing. Okay, maybe it's not as awkward as Ezekiel Sims's obvious ADR dubbing. but you're not gonna like it. Johnny, yes! Actually, yeah, that's the perfect way to describe the Human Torch in the 2005 movie. The older folks say, Johnny, no. Johnny says, Johnny, yes. And yeah, this is where he starts flying. Oh yeah, he knows he done yucked up. And he can redeem himself. Yep, going up. Whoa! The jitter's like, what the hell? Target acquired. Target is on fire. Oh, that's one way to actually outwit the torpedo. Good thing Namor wasn't there. I sometimes say that too. 2 down, 2 to go. I'm sure being frozen in nitrogen is definitely painful. Doctor Doom. You're fired. Fire, fire. Yeah, apparently, I don't think people even say Marco Polo anymore. Oof. Oh, yeah! That is a good comeback. Huh, look at that. He's flattered. Or flattened. I'm sure he's not flattered that he got flattened. Going down? Wouldn't that cause him to short circuit? Uh-oh. Maybe not a good idea to have a pool up above. I'm sure he's thinking, I do not get paid enough for this. Whee! Hey, at least that garbage truck gave him a nice landing. A nice soft landing. Sanitation truck, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't blame them for panicking. I mean, if the thing crashed into my car, I'd be freaking out too. It's like, whoa, shit, shit, shit. Well, that's not nice. was like, oh yeah, haha, joke's on you, I'm bulletproof. There's a Wilhelm scream. Brisk tea. I don't think people sell brisk tea anymore. Not exactly a fun transportation. He just casually gets out of the bus. It's funny. I love that little trumpet player as he's just tossing Ben to the side with a pole. Nice save, Sue. Now, for most of the shoot, Michael Chiklis was terribly uncomfortable in the hot thing suit. The final street battle, however, was filmed in Vancouver in December, leaving Chiklis as the only comfortable one of the four, since the rest of them were in skid-tight blue uniforms. He was snug. Snug as a bug. A little relapse. Holy electro, Batman. Ooh, that should have singed a hole into him. There's another Wilhelm. Cannonball! Brisk lemonade. I don't think brisk is made anymore. Oof, sorry. My left foot is about to fall asleep. I think Doom is naked at this point. Also, apparently, Jessica Alba was okay with the psychic nosebleed because she liked the idea of Sue having limitations. That's what makes our original family of superheroes human. That's a pretty cool water slide trick. Well, thanks for posing for the statue, Dr. Doom. Ooh, he's steamy. That's a steamy naked statue. Whoa. Oh yeah, you got the suits. The crowd is easily impressed. Thank you, Fantastic Four. Oh yeah, the 36 quadruple leap was actually improvised by Michael. Whoops. Okay, it's been a second. He'd say, look, that wink is like, go get her, Tiger. Now, during the peer conversation between Reed and Sue, not only were the actors not together, which is relatively common in filmmaking, they weren't even in the same country. Jessica Alba was filmed in New York City, while Ian Grufford was filmed in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Yep, she gets invisible when she's excited, too. Yes or no? Which is cute. Yep. All the kids would be like, ew! Wide load. That is a visually cool moniker, right up there with the whole question mark up above the bat signal. The end. Ah, rude. Fun fact, the guy that shut that door was one of the producers of the film, making a nice cameo appearance. 2005 tablets, am I right? Kind of reminds me of when the Ark of the Covenant was pretty much taken away to who knows where. And it's taking him to Latveria, the Doctor Doom's hometown. But yeah, that was Fantastic Four 2005. Is it perfect? No. It may not be the best. In fact, it looks inferior compared to the 2025 Fantastic Four movie. And you know, it took so much effort to not reference Fantastic Four First Steps and compare the 2005 movie to First Steps. I mean, it took maximum effort for me to pretty much not compare or contrast. Because, you know, it's as Teddy Roosevelt once said, comparison is the thief of joy. Yeah, Fantastic Four 2005 isn't good, but I have a sentimental soft spot for it, and the things that do hold up, they do hold up. It's pretty good. If I were to rank the Fantastic Four movies, I mean, First Steps would be A tier at number one, and, well, Fantastic Four 2005 would be kind of number two. It's not perfect, but hey, it's good enough for me, and I like it. But yeah, that was my Commentary Companions episode. I filmed this literally a day before I left for California and before my birthday. But thanks for listening to my commentary on the film. Be sure to like and subscribe. Don't have a good day. Have a great day.